tuned to jagoda.com.
Nice. I take it on Arabam. You wanna stay strong. You wanna live long and stay strong. Talk it out. You wanna live long and stay strong.
Jagoda.com.
Ogun bílẹ̀ afúnni ni wọ́n sọ, olóyún abẹ́rẹ́, láì ṣiṣẹ́ abẹ, ewé ń jẹ́, ogun jẹ́. Má ṣe lògùn without doctor's prescription. Mo tẹnu mọ́, call on doctor's attention if you need solution. Mo tẹnu mọ́, too much is given, much is expected. Ìlera lọ́rọ̀,
Jagoda.com.
Ìwọ Sátidé aláboyún ẹ̀ múra o. Kúbọ̀ tó bá ṣe bí ẹni gbà rẹ̀ àbí kojú máa ṣú.
Okay, good afternoon, good people of Oyo State. How are we doing this afternoon? Hope we are doing great. Hope we are impacting lives and keeping safe. This is Dr. Kech behind the microphone, and I welcome you all to this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. For those of us that are still at work, hope work is going well. Hope we are enjoying and managing the rigors of our daily tasks. And then for those of us driving home at this time, please drive safely and drive carefully. I welcome us all to another edition of Healthy Living with Dr. Kech. As we all know, we started last week. Last week we talked about various lifestyle changes that we can imbibe as we go on our daily activities. And then today we are going to be talking about something very, very interesting. So I encourage you all to stay tuned to the end of the program. Okay, so my name is Dr. Nkechi Iwala. I'm a family physician and a certified health coach. And then it is with great joy and pleasure that I welcome you this beautiful afternoon. So happy Children's Day to in arrears to children, to myself. I mean, I'm a child, right? I'm also somebody's child. And to all our amazing cuties all over the world. I pray that you all are blessed. You all remain a blessing and not a burden to us, your parents. So today, in honor of our dear ones, I shall be talking on a very, very important topic, one that can be both distressing to the mother and to the child. I mean, I get this a lot. I still saw one today, and then the topic is: are you ready to hear this, guys? Picky eaters and how to handle them. I mean, I'm a mother of 2 boys. So we get this a lot of children, a lot of mothers who come to the clinic. My child is not eating well. Some mothers, you see their children taking what is it called? All these fizzy drinks, sugary drinks, juice packs, and you're like, madam, why are you giving your child these things? Biscuits and all. And then you hear, Kojao, he does not eat, does not do that. Have you tried rice? He or she does not like rice. Have you tried this? So what is it you are giving this child? So you hear, is it that you hear Indomie noodles or you hear biscuits? Just so many unhealthy foods that we are giving our children, all in the name, all because we feel that, or we have termed them picky eaters. So for mothers who have picky eaters, I see you all, and I hope that I'm able to provide you with the knowledge and strategies you can use to navigate this phase of life. Well, picky eating is usually common between the ages of 2 and 5. I mean, these ones they've gone through the breastfeeding stage. They've taken cereal like pap. Some have taken other forms of cereal, packed cereal that we've given them. And then when it's now time to start eating homemade meals like rice, yam, amala, eba, we now find it now becomes a daunting task, and it should not be so, because really that period is a time where they are growing, their brain is growing, their organs are growing, they're going to school, they are getting, interacting with the environment. So they need to be, at their optimum best, and the kind and quality of the food they eat is very, very important. So can we continue, guys? Okay, so what is picky eating? I mean, it's not just, eating a particular kind of food. It also means when the child is unwilling, they just do not want to eat. They're unwilling to eat familiar foods or try new foods, as well as having a strong food preference. So some of them is only rice that they can eat. Some of them is beans. Some it is pap. When you try to introduce another food, it becomes a huge fight. And then for some children, they don't even want to eat at all, or they eat the same kind of food over and over and over again. If you have been in that, if you are going through that particular thing, I think one good question you should ask yourself is, how can I encourage this child to eat? What can I do? How do I make this food beautiful? How do I make it attractive? How do I make it attractive, for them to eat this food, knowing fully well that they need to eat, and they need to eat good food. So picking eating is a common source of lamentation, for parents, especially mothers, because it is we mothers that get to feed them. In fact, there are some children, especially, let me give you a story about my son. Then when he was, I think, a year plus, this boy will not eat at home. Like, we'll act drama, we'll do all sorts before he gets to eat. But when he gets to school, he just starts, the food he will take to school, he will finish it. And then you'll be wondering if then I think I used to wonder if he was being force fed in school. So one day I went to their school unannounced, and then I saw my boy, quiet, gentle, opening his mouth and taking this food, and I'm like, please, I had to ask their caregiver there that what is it that you give to them. But then again, I think that when they see other children or their age groups, they all line up, and then as one finishes, the other one, it becomes the other person's turn, and then they all have that sense of, okay, so I'm not the only one going through this kind of thing, and then they eat. But when they come home, it's like they know that if they cry, mommy will give them something else, or that's rubbish, in that sense, that they love to eat. So there are different types of picky eaters. There are some that are termed regressors. So these ones, they used to love to eat a particular food, maybe when they were 2 years old, or when they were 3. They loved to eat. There were no issues during mealtime. I mean, mealtime was always fun. And then they get to a particular stage, they just lose all interest. And you're like, what is happening? I mean, these things, as mothers, I want to believe that you feel me. I want to believe that you feel. I'm not the only mother that goes through this, and I know I'm not the only mother, because I see a lot of mothers in clinic that that have this kind of complaints. So your child is eating, or was eating well, and then all of a sudden, his beloved rice just suddenly lost taste in the rice or in the yam. So in that kind of case, what you can do is, if, for example, you've been feeding that child with rice and stew, is it possible that you can try maybe jollof rice, or you match the rice and then you mold it into balls? Can we do that? Or you match the rice and then use cookie cutters, to cut it, and then it becomes so fine, maybe star shape or love shape, and then you put some little burst of colors, like small carrot somewhere, small green somewhere, and then one red color, so, and then the food becomes colorful. Is that something that we can explore? Because as they grow, their appetites vary, and then it's also at this stage that a child learns that he has a lot of control. I mean, I don't know where they get this, but it's like they know that when they cry, mommy attends to their needs always. So if you give them a particular food and they don't like it, they cry, they fuss all over the place, they do all manner of things, and then we just assume that he doesn't like rice, and then we give up on rice, and then we try another one, he doesn't like that, and then we give up on that, and then by the time we give them packed juice, I mean, who does not like sugar, right? So they will take this sugar, they will take it, they will take tea because it's sugary, it is sweet, but is it healthy on the long term? I mean, we are seeing a lot of children come down with obesity, they're just so fat, and then we erroneously term them as body. This is not body, this one is an illness. So it's not a body matter here. So let us feed these children with good meals. And so a child learns that he has a lot of control over his parents' behavior. And so rejecting food is now one of the ways they can exert that toddler power on their mom. But then as a mom, you should ask yourself, who is in charge here? It is not the child, it is you as the mother. You are the one that exposes them to these foods. It is not this little 2-year-old or 18-month-old child or 3-month or 3-year-old child that would go to a supermarket to get a bottle of drink. No, we are the ones who buy these things home and then we give it to them. So if they are not exposed to that, if they're only exposed to beans, they're exposed to rice, they're exposed to oranges, apples, bananas, they will eat it. When they are hungry, they will eat. So secondly, we have the plain foods lovers. This one, they do not even want anything flavorful. So they like bland foods, right? They like to eat pap, bread and butter. They want to eat rice and maybe oil. Just some foods that they're not peppery, no spices, nothing there. They just want their foods bland like that. So that is one category of picky eaters. And then thirdly, we have the drinkers. This one, they just want to drink, just want to gulp it down. So you see them taking a lot of drinks, a lot of blended foods, and one of the reasons why some of them do this is because they're just lazy. Sitting down on their table and then eating the food, it is big work. So you just want to quickly gulp down their food and then run out to play or watch TV or whatnot. So yeah. So what can we do in this sense? Can you ask yourself, you blend rice and maybe avocado or blend fruits in form of, make it like smoothie so that they can, and then at that particular phase, at that particular point in time, you can assure yourself that they're actually taking in nutritious meals whilst you are still exposing them, to the other foods you really want them to eat. And then it's also important that meal time is done together, with both the dad, if dad is around, the siblings, everybody is eating at the same time, and you're also eating what you're giving them to eat. It's not like you cook one very nice meal for yourself and then you give them pap, and then they now feel like the one you're eating is more superior, or you try to make one particular food, you try to bribe them with one particular meal, and then say, if you don't finish your food, I won't give you this. So in their mind, they are saying to themselves, oh, it's like this food I'm going to wait for is the best. So why do I have to wait for it? Why not reject this one? Why not reject this one in front of me? And then I'm sure that mommy is going to give me the one she's keeping for later. So those are some of the things that we might have to try to adjust. And then we have the fillers. My little boy is one filler. If I introduce a new food, maybe for example, if over time he's been eating plain yam and egg, and then this particular time I want to make yam pottage, and then he sees it and he's like, what is this one? The first one, take a tiny, just tiny bit into his mouth, and then he will taste it. So that's my son. If I want to get him to eat a particular food, I would have to make sure the food enters his mouth. I don't know what kind of drama will act, but the food just has to enter. It can be even fufu or soup, or just something new, something that he's not used to. My responsibility at that time is to get that food into his mouth so that he has a taste of it. And then usually, like 99% of the time, he enjoys it. I mean, mom is a good cook. He enjoys it, and then he sits down and finishes food. So that's another thing I'm going to mention. Some of us, a lot of mothers are too busy. We think that we can just cook one rice and then one sauce that is not sweet, that is not interesting, that even you yourself, you cannot eat that food. Then we give it to these little ones to eat. They won't eat it though. they will not eat it. So those are some of the things that we can also consider. And then I hope that with these 4 types of picky eaters I've mentioned, the regressors, the lovers of plain food, the fillers, and the drinkers, you can, if you have a picky eater as a child, you can know where to put that one and some of the adjustments that you can make. So let's go for a quick break and then we'll be back.
You know that health is wealth and ital is vital. They're not just some rhyming words. It's something that's just got to be heard. Who is responsible for your health? Look in the mirror, it's your very own self. You can't rely on nobody else. Health is a wealth, ital is vital. Try and take care of yourself. Health is a wealth, ital is vital. You can't rely on nobody else. Health is a wealth, ital is vital. Try and take care of yourself. Health is a wealth, ital is vital. You can't rely on nobody else. Jackie with the herb at the field for the healing of the nation. Fruit and vegetable for medication. So much food, so much variation. Sustenance for all generation. It's there in abundance.
Okay, so welcome back. You're listening to Healthy Living with Dr. Kech, and you can listen to this program at Facebook via Facebook at Primus Media City, on YouTube via Primus Television, and then also you can visit our website www.primusmediacity.com. So we are talking about how to handle picky eaters, and then we've gotten to the point where I'll be dishing out tips on how to navigate this particular phase, and some of the things that we can start to apply to be able to get our loved ones to eat. So first of all, meal time should be fun time. I've said this earlier. We should make their meals as attractive and inviting as possible. Giving them food in form of their shapes. I mean, they do shapes in school at this age, right? So you can get triangular cookie cutters, heart-shaped cookie cutters, or just mold their food in form of balls. Or you want to eat, if you think that they do not like potato, and then you've introduced them to pies like meat pie and they like it, you can convert that potato. Potato just forms the base, and then you make the filling, and then with the beef, vegetables and all, and then you put them inside the potato, and then you bake. So there are different things that we might have to invest in, because we want to reduce frying as much as possible. So we'll be baking a lot of foods. We'll be making can make rice cookies, potato cookies, just smoothie, things that they just make food in form of puree, and then they get to eat it. If they want to drink, they drink it. Just make their food, make meal time fun time. Let them look forward to meal time. Let their meals be filled with colors. You use yellow pepper, green pepper, red pepper, carrots, cabbage. I know that for a lot of us, we have difficulties. We have a difficulty getting our babies to eat vegetables, but the more we keep introducing it to them, a day will come they will love it, and then you should love it as well, so that they can also be encouraged to eat. And then secondly, number 2, be patient when trying out new foods. Our little ones have emotions. If you force this food down on them, they will associate that food to that trauma. They will associate that food to that feeling of stress, of crying, and then they will not look forward to eating that food. So you have to be patient. They try it, you give it to them today, they do not like it, give it to them tomorrow or 2 days after, maybe in another form. A time will come they will eat it, And then you also eat it, like I said, eat it so that they will see that, oh no, this food is not totally bad. Let them see mommy eat it. Let them see daddy eat that food. Let them see their loved ones, Let them see you eat that food. They will eat it. When a time will come, they will eat the food. And then it is number 3, stick to a routine. Especially dinner. I know that for a lot of us, our children might not have breakfast. Some do have breakfast, but lunch is hard in school. And then for dinner, after the assignments or whichever time is convenient, in your family, stick to a particular routine so that you know that 6 p.m., 7 p.m. is dinner. And then after that, that they either maybe watch TV or they go have their bath and then it's time for bed. So stick to a routine. Children work well with routine. And then number 4, get your child's assistant. So take them out for shopping when you're going to shop. And then it is important that if you're going to shop at a mall, take them to the healthy food section. So where there are fruits, where there are vegetables, where there are nuts, let them get to see this. In fact, let them pick the one they want. Do not take them to the snack section. Do not take them to the section where they now become nuisance. They now become a nuisance in the mall, and then they are screaming down at your neck. So take them to the healthy food section. Oh, you called their name. Hey, sweetie, would you want this? And then they decide if they want it or not. Let them be the one to select. So that when you are cooking the food, you call them, bros, guy, come here. Now you select this food. So start to the chopper. And also involve them in the cooking process, right? So you're cooking. Take for example, you want to remove a wedu leaf from the stalk. Give it to them. No matter the nonsense they make of it, just give them one. You be doing yours, but let them, get them involved. If your kitchen if it's spacious enough, just let them stay at a corner on their chair while they watch you cook. Or just when the food is when you are stirring the meal, if you can carry them so that they can see what is inside the pot, and then they go back to the sitting room or whatever it is they are doing at the time. But just get them involved. Let them see that this thing is healthy. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, when you are eating, everybody should eat together. And then number 5, please respect their appetites. Right? They have a mind of their own. You cannot force them to eat what they do not want to eat. So if respect their appetite or their lack of appetite. So if the particular food you are giving them, if they say they don't want, and then you try and then they still refuse, just leave them. Let them be at that time. You can eat the food. And then the following day, try again. And then the following day or 2 days after, try again. Don't just conclude. That's the goal. That's the idea. Don't conclude that they do not eat that particular food. And then try, if it is rice, try different methods. Jollof rice, fried rice, rice and stew, stir fried, whatever it is, mold it into balls, into cookies, blend it. They will eat, they will make it like moi. They will just, I know that for these children, they will eat, they will find their preference. A lot of us are just, we are impatient. I don't want to use the word lazy cooks, but I think we should be intentional about this. We should be intentional about giving our kids the best of food, because we want them to grow well. We want them to do well in school. We want them to live well. We do not want them in and out of the hospital. I mean, there's some children that they become common faces in the hospital. Every month you will see them. If it is not fever, it is kata. If it is not kata, it is vomiting. If it's not vomiting, it is stooling. Because I mean, the food we eat, the quality of the food we eat should be a source of, a way we boost our immunity, and that is what we should give to these children. So lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of whole food, beans. You'll be surprised how that even though you might not like beans, that your little one would like beans. And then because you do not like beans, you will not be cooking beans in the house. So please give them beans, give them ewedu, let them drink it. If they don't want amala, no problem. Blend the ewedu, put lots of locust beans in it, and give them to drink. You don't know what you are giving them lots of nutrients, into their body. And then during meal time, number 6, minimize distraction. So mealtime should be strictly mealtime. A lot of children are distracted. So when they're eating and watching TV or watching their favorite cartoon, they won't touch that food. Their gaze is on the cartoon, and then the food is cold. Then if after they finish eating, they just lose interest in the food. So meal time should strictly be meal time. Let them finish their food 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whichever time they finish the food. Let them focus on that food and then finish it. Then they can go back to watching their television. And then number 7, set a good example. Set a good example. As mommies, as daddies, if they see you eat, if they do not see you, it is what they see you eat, right, that they will most probably eat. So if you are eating lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, and then whilst you are eating, you give them a bite, they would likely not reject it. Even if they reject it at the first time, and then the following day you eat it, you give to them, and then the third time you do that, you give to them, a time will come they eat. So you set a good example. You eat good food. That is why it is important that everyone eats together, both the mom, the dad. You are eating at the same time, or you're eating the same food. You should give to them what you're eating, so that they know that there is really nothing special about this food, and everybody's eating together. So take lots of water. If you add lots of veggies on your meal, on your plates, and then you give to them, even if they reject it, like I keep saying, these things it's not rocket science, right? And I'm not saying that it's going to happen immediately you try, but be patient. Give them time, and I promise you they will eat. I have two boys with different personalities. They will eat this food, and then you see your boys, you see your children, your little girl, your little boy, looking healthy, looking fresh, doing well in school. They're just doing amazingly well, and that's the joy of a lot of parents. So with these few points of mine, which of these strategies are you going to try out? I've mentioned mealtime should be fun time, so introduce lots of let the food be colorful, let there be plenty of shapes. Want to make pancakes, you just put the food, put maybe like one smiley, just put something that they would really enjoy, make the food attractive. I've mentioned that you be patient while trying out new foods. So if you try once and you do not get it, try again. If you don't get it, if you try the third time, maybe the fourth time, try that food. Give them that same food in another form, either in form of balls, in form of pancakes, or baked food. Then stick to a routine. And then I also mentioned that you should get them involved in the shopping process. In fact, even when you're drawing up the shopping list, those little ones, get them involved. What would you like to eat this week? I want carrots. Add carrots there. I want even if they say I want biscuit, you say no, biscuit is not healthy, biscuit is junk. What else would you want? Well, by the time you keep striking out all the nonsense they mention, all the jakujas that they will mention. So when they mention the good one, and then you give them a thumbs up, and then you write, and then you try as much as possible to buy that thing. You buy that food, and then they eat it during the course of the week. Then also mention that you respect their appetites or the lack of one, and so that they do not associate mealtime or that particular food to a traumatic experience, to a crying experience. And then during mealtime, when they are eating, you should minimize distraction and then set a good example. So which of these strategies will you be trying out? Remember, it's a process, so give it time. Take it one step at a time, one change at a time. You don't have to introduce all the meals at the same time. Just take it one meal at a time, breakfast at a time, lunch or dinner. Don't get them overwhelmed. And then do not feed your child from the point of overwhelm. Don't feed them while you're stressed. Don't feed them while you're angry. Don't feed them while you have maybe one big task to perform. You rush it, you will not be patient, you'll be angry, even you will be cranky, and we do not want that. So we have come to the end of today's talk, today's teaching, today's program, Healthy Living with Dr. Kech. You can reach, if you have any questions or clarification or whatever it is, you can reach me on Instagram at I am Dr. Kech. No hyphen, no dot, nothing. I am Dr. Kech. Kech. or on Facebook or LinkedIn, Kech Iwala. That's my name. So till I come your way next week, Wednesday by 4 p.m. Stay safe, keep well, keep impacting lives. I love you all. Bye, guys.
Ìlera lọ́rọ̀,
àlàáfíà tayọ.
ìlera lọ́rọ̀ kórede.
Àlàáfíà tayọ.
Oyè
Mo fẹ́ dogún, mo fẹ́ dọ́gbọ̀n, ilé ayé yìí ló mọ̀ o. Àlè rẹ̀ ní bá ní ṣiṣẹ́, àlè.
Primus Radio. Ojú